Giovanni Mahoday, can you please read this? Subhashikam. This is from the Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, 22nd shloka.
Okay. Vasamsi Jirnani Yata Vihaya Navani. This one, this compound letter is an H and then is a Ha and Na, right?
Yeah. So it is like, so Gruh
Gruhna.
and Na.
Gruhnati. Gruhnati. Naroparani Yata Sharirani Vihaya Jirnaya Yani.
This typo here. Okay.
It's not the same. No. Oh no, it's a long E now.
Yeah, long E.
Jirnaya Yani Samyati Navani Dehi.
And what is this one?
Yata.
Ta.
Yes. Yeah, I was confusing with the other one. Yes.
Yeah. So Ya is here. Yatha.
Yata and Tata.
Vasamsi Jirnani. Vasamsi means clothes. See, I just copy pasted it from somewhere. Here also there is a long. Vasamsi Jirnani. Jirnani means ones which are they are already torn, right? They're torn. Vasamsi Jirnani, torn and old. The clothes which are torn and old. Yatha, in what manner? In which manner? Vihaya, abandoning them. So Yatha means how we abandon, we give up these old clothes. Navani grunnati naroparani. Naraha means the human being, person. Aparani means others. Navani means new. Grunnati means takes. So abandoning or giving up the old clothes, how a person takes new clothes. Tatha, like that. Sharirani, the body is Vihaya. What kind of Sharirani? What kind of bodies? Jirnani, Jirnanyani. Jirnani Anya. There is a join here. So the join is like this. Jirnani. And there is here. So together it becomes Jirnanyani. So Jirnani means again same. This is the old and torn. Anyani means other. Sanyati means gets or obtains. Navani, again new ones. Dehi means one who resides in the body. Dehaha is body. Deha is body. And Dehi means one who resides in the body, which is the soul or Atma, called Dehi. So the overall meaning is that just like how a person gives up old clothes for new clothes and takes up new clothes, just like that, Atma gives up old bodies and takes up other bodies. Anyani means other bodies. Any question here?
Yeah. I think this goes in chapter 2 as well. There is I think it's in verse 12. This talking that person does not die because the Atma lives forever. And here we are saying in this verse that we are reading here at the moment, the one Sisi Jirnani Yata Vihaya is the same thing happening here, because the Atma then leaves the body and go on and take on a new body, just as we are doing when we have worn out clothes. We took the clothes out, throw it off, and we take new clothes on. And I think the same thing, because I think in chapter 12 it talks about na twa vaham jatu nasam na tvam ne me jana deepaha na chaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayam param vayam mata param. So the soul goes on then, or the Atma goes on then and lives forever, and it doesn't die. Am I right?
Yes. Yeah, thank you. This is a good explanation. Yeah. So, all right. So in the previous classes, just a quick revision, we have gone through all these different words. Many of them were Pullinga, that is masculine, and many of them were Strilinga, that is feminine, and many of them are Napunsakalinga, that is neuter genders. We went through many of these words. What is the example of one of the Pullinga word or the masculine word? That is shown here, right, on the screen. This is a masculine word. Karadipaha. So because Deepaha is a masculine word. Deepaha means light. Deepa word is a masculine word. And what is the example for the Strilingam or the feminine word? Anybody remember feminine word?
Mahila, Nadi.
Yeah, Mahila, Nadi. And that is
Nidhanika. Nidhanika.
Nidhanika. And there is one here also on the screen. Kartari. Kartari is also feminine word. And what about the neuter word?
Charanam. Charanam.
Charanam. Phalam.
Jalam. Jalam.
Jalam. Phalam.
Patram.
Patram.
Paranam. Toyam.
Vahanam. So these are some of the neuter words we have studied. And now, other than that, we also studied the words atra means here, tatra means there, putra means where, and other pronouns like saha means that, eshaha means this in the masculine gender, and sa means that, esha means this in the feminine gender, and tat, etat, this and that and this in the neuter gender. These words we studied, and in the question, similarly corresponding question words are in the masculine gender kaha, and feminine gender strilingam it is ka, and neuter gender it is kim, kaha, ka, kim. So these are the three words we studied. For the question word, as a question word. So the question can be asked like kaha saha means who is that, kaha eshaha who is this, kaha saha who is that, kaha eshaha who is this in the masculine gender. If the object we are talking is masculine, the word is masculine, then we use kaha saha. Ka sa who is that, kim tat who is, what is that, kim tat. Then additionally we also studied the verb or the kriya padam called asti, which means is, and nasti means is not there. Asti is the actual verb or the kriya padam, but nasti has two words in it, na and asti. There is a joining there. Only asti is the verb. Only this part is the verb. So if you add na behind it, then become na and asti together while pronouncing, it becomes nasti. You can also pronounce it separately, na asti. That is also fine. But if you combine them while speaking, while pronouncing, then na plus asti becomes nasti. Nasti is not there, asti means is there. The examples are saha balakah asti. Saha balakah means boy, saha means that, asti means is. So that is the boy. So the sequence of the words in Sanskrit sentence is that first there is a subject word. Subject means the one who is performing the action. So it is a subject first. So first subject, then other words, then at the end usually we see the verb. This is the order of a Sanskrit sentence, general order while speaking. But in the poems, shlokas, prayers, all those compositions, you might see this shuffled. The verb might come first, subject may be later, etc. But that can be figured out. So it is easy to know. It is not difficult to see which one is the subject, which one is the object, because the vibhaktis are built into the words itself, the case endings. Vibhakti means the case endings, they are built into the word itself. But while speaking simple sentences, generally we find this order. The subject first, verb at the end, and in between, if there are any other words, they will go in between. For example, tat jalam asti. So, jalam asti, this is the word. Sorry, this is the sentence. So in this is the verb and this is the subject word. Jalam asti. Now tat jalam asti, that is
Water.
That is the water. In this case, jalam is still the subject, but tat is the adjective here. It's an adjective to jalam. Tat jalam asti. So the adjective, because it is adjective, so usually it comes before the word which it is describing. Now it is in this case it is describing jalam. So tat jalam asti. So last week we came across this book, Learning Sanskrit in 30 Days. So in that there are many simple words are given there. How do you find this book so far? Have you just browsed through the book, or at least this first couple of pages, few pages?
The first couple of pages, I find it quite straightforward to understand, and I think we had an exercise on this, isn't it? We did the homework on this. I can't remember which page now, but I find it very useful.
Yeah, it's page 34, and so, yeah, if you look here, it starts with this letters here, and then vowels, and the compound letters, conjunct letters. Some examples are also given for conjunct letters. So this also will give you more vocabulary here. So here, like akka is the example given as a mother, but generally in the language today, akka it means mother, but it's not generally used nowadays as a mother. For mother, we have a word called amba, mata, etc. But generally, this will give you some more words as vocabulary, like rukmam, gold. And because of the ending which is given here, the word ending is also given in the first case ending. So based on that, you can guess or you can know its gender also, correct?
Masculine, yeah.
So bhaktaha means masculine because its first case ending is aha, that is visarga is there, and this one is like Rama, Sita, Balika, like that. This is a ending at the end, so its gender should be strilingam or feminine. Similarly, these words like rukmam, vakyam, vakram, shuklam, these are napunsakalingam or neuter words because they are like phalam, patram, parnam, sasyam, like that. So this is something which you may want to go through whenever you have time to get to know more and more words. There are so many words here.
What I also find in this book, it gives some roots as well. For example, we have pat, and they give gum, and then gum becomes gach. The same thing with pa, it becomes pib, and I was interested to see vad. Vad, that's an interesting word as well. So yes, it's quite useful.
Yeah. So if who are interested in this, those who are interested in this, like more like a grammar thing, what is the root and all that, that part is also available. But otherwise, if you just are interested to know the final words that are need to be used in a sentence, those are also available as a table here. Now the last week, all of you have done this homework. Homework was simple, like Ramaha. So it was just to translate the one which on the next page, right? This one. Ramaha pathati. So without worrying about the root and all that. So if you can just look at the sentence also, this is simple enough. Ramaha pathati. So this gives the English meaning. So Krishna vasati. Krishna resides or dwells. So not only English meaning, there is a transliteration also. There is a transliteration scheme. He used, standard used is bit different than what I am following. But this is also good. This is also widely used, this transliteration. Balaha namati. Then putraha vadati. Buddhaha gacchati. The scholar goes. Nripaha jayati. Again, there are nouns, animals here, ajaha, gajaha, varaha, harinaha. So these, going through these pages itself increases the vocabulary, but not only that, if you go to towards the end of the book, see, from page number 179 here, so there are a lot of words for the commonly used terminologies that are usually used. For example, time, kalaha. So for the time, what are the different words? This second, hour, fortnight, and month, and all that. And then there is a next one. You see the seasons, weekdays, months, directions, planets, relatives, place, colors, and so on. So animals, body, parts of the body. So this is a good collection, simple. So without making it too much grammar oriented. Professional men. And these are the numbers one. Numbers and ordinals, like ordinals, first, second, third, like that. These are just the numbers. So here, let's try some of the words here today. Okay, Veena, can you read this one? I'll write this. I mean, this may not be clear.
Ajaha.
This one. Is it clear? Should I write it?
No, hold on. Let me just okay, yeah. Bidalaha.
Bidalaha. That means cat. This one.
Gajaha.
Gajaha. Elephant. This one.
I can't see it properly. Va. Kaha. Vrik.
Yes.
Vrikaha.
Yeah, Vrukaha. Wolf. This one. First one, you know. Second one.
Baha, but the other one I forgot.
Yeah, so that one is a special symbol for this consonant sh.
Sha, yeah.
It is either written like this or like this.
Ashvaha. Ashvaha.
Yeah. Ashwaha is
Ashwaha.
horse. Okay, the next one.
Garba, Garda.
Yeah.
Gardabaha.
Gardabha.
Gardabaha.
Donkey. Gardabha. This one.
Baraha.
Varaha. Boar or pig. Okay, this one.
Harinaha.
Harinaha.
Yeah, the other one. The E for the
Harinaha. Deer.
Harina. Yeah.
Okay, then this one.
Vanaraha.
Vanaraha. Monkey.
Rahaya.
And this last one.
Shigalaha.
So as you know, the sha is written either this way, this sha is written either this way or this way. So the Shrugalaha, if you see, sometimes you in writing also, you might see it like this. This is also correct. Shru. Shrugalaha. Shrugala. Okay. So with these words, let's say whether you can make the sentence.
Harinaha.
The cat goes. How do you translate that?
The cat. Viddalaha.
Gacchati. Where is Gacchati? Here.
Oh, I was just thinking from my mind.
Good, yeah. So, Gacchati goes. Vidalaha Gacchati. Good. And donkey dwells or resides.
Donkey. Gardabhaha. Vasati.
Yeah, Vasati. Here we have Vasati. Then, what is that? Horse. Horse runs.
Ashvaha.
So, where is the slide here?
Okay.
So, we have a
Dhavati
here.
Yeah.
Ashvaha Dhavati. Okay. Then monkey. Monkey. What else we have here?
Khadati.
Monkey eats.
Varanaha. Khadati.
Anaraha Khadati. Then the goat sees.
Goat. I don't remember goat. Goat is Ajaha. Okay. Ajaha. Sees is.
Sees. Yeah.
Pashyati.
Pashyati.
Yeah, Pashyati. Ajaha Pashyati.
So some verbs are given here at the bottom, which we saw some of these. Like for example, we have seen this dhavati. Dhav is the root, which is given root here, but we have seen the dhavati format, like namati. Namati is given as the salutes here, like that. Vadati speaks. Like we have seen ashvaha dhavati. Then similarly pashyati. Pashyati kaha Ajaha pashyati. Then also we have on our slide we have seen vahati. Vaha is there. So we have seen vahati, right? And this vahati is not there. Yeah, nadi vahati. So vahati has two meanings. Just vahati means flow also. Just nadi. Nadi is flowing or the river is flowing. Nadi vahati. Or vahati also means carry. Sometimes. Nayati also means carry. Vahati also means carry. So those two forms we saw. And then other than that, there are few more verbs here which are useful. Like one is harati. Harati means takes away. Something harati is takes away. What would be the example? Again, you can ask balakaha phalam harati. Balaka is taking away the fruit. Then pachati. Pachati is another useful verb. Pachati means cooks. Somebody is cooking something, so we can use it. Balakaha pachati means, or saha pachati. Purushaha pachati means he is cooking. Saha pachati means he is cooking. Now smara is another one. Smarati means remembering or remembers. Balakaha smarati, he remembers. Now teja. Teja means abandon. Tejati. Balakaha tejati. So he is abandoning something. Then vaha. Vahati. So this we already saw. Carry or bear. Then bodhati. Bodhati means understands, knows. Now, what we are now getting into or what we saw before to some extent is the sixth case ending form, like what is shown here. Ramasya. So where do we use sixth case ending? In what sense? When something belongs to somebody or someone. So, for example, when we say Ramasya Pustakam, Ramasya Pustakam, in this case, what it means? The book, Pustakam is book, Ramansya means Ramas or of Rama. The book belongs to Rama. That is why we are using Ramasya. So, note Ramasya is the sixth case ending form of Ramaha. Rama is first case ending. Then we just add sya. We remove these two dots or the visarga and just add the sya to it. Then it becomes Ramasya. So Ramasya Pustakam means the book of Rama, book belonging to Rama, Rama's book. So this becomes Rama's book. The same pattern goes for the masculine words we have studied so far. The masculine words we have studied, for example, Balaka, right? Balakaha means the boy. So what will be the sixth case ending form? Like Rama becomes Ramasya. Balakaha. Balakasya. So Balakasya. Right. Balakasya. So how do we say boy's book? Balakasya Pustakam. And then if you want to add the verb is, then we can add asti at the end. If no verb is there in a sentence, then asti can be assumed most of the times. So Balakasya Pustakam asti. This becomes the complete sentence. Balakasya pustakam asti. Note here that what is the order here? What is the order of the words? Asti is the verb which is at the end of the sentence. And what is the subject here?
Book.
Book. So pustakam, which is in the first case ending, this is a neuter word. So that is here. But balakasya, which is indicating the relation or belongingness towards the book, is in the beginning. Balakasya pustakam asti. So this is the usual order while speaking, but you can again shuffle the order while speaking also, while writing also. It doesn't matter because this here has become part of this word itself, balakasya. So it always means of boy. So if you move this balakasya anywhere, this of also goes with it, of boy. So book, pustakam balakasya asti. Pustakam means book, of boy is. That is if you literally translate into English. But in Sanskritam, because this ending, that is here of a case, becomes part of the word itself, so this whole thing moves around and the meaning remains the same. But to keep it simple, this is the usual order which is followed. Balakasya pustakam asti. Now similarly, the question word is kaha. We have seen that. Kaha. For example, kaha saha is our question in the masculine. Kaha saha is a masculine
Question. The question.
in the masculine word, referring to a masculine word. Kaha saha means who is that. So that, so sixth case ending of kaha is kasya, means of whom. Kasya means of whom. So when we say kasya, when we want to ask the question, kasya, whose book it is, so we can ask kasya pustakam, whose book it is, kasya pustakam. Now there is no verb in this. If there is no verb, again asti can be assumed, or you can also add the verb. Kasya pustakam asti. Okay. Kasya pustakam.
Can we say Kasya Nama Ramaha?
Yes. Kasya nama Ramaha, whose name is Ram.
Thanks.
Kasya pustakam asti. This is a general question sentence. So kasya means whose book it is. So one thing to note here that, again, if you compare this to English, the English question sentence starts with the verb, right? Usually like is, whose book it is, or is it, like that. But here, kasya itself is a question here, kasya. So there is, order is again not important here. So you can also ask pustakam kasya asti, pustakam asti kasya. That's okay. Asti pustakam kasya. So anyway, you can move this around. It means the same because kasya itself indicates the question. And also the question mark itself is not necessary here in the Sanskrit sentence. Kasya itself indicates a question mark. So even while writing also, question mark is this question mark symbol is not necessary, though you might find in this recent books, which is useful to understand that is a question. But if the question mark is not written in the older books, you might you may not find, and even some newer books also may not find, and technically it is not necessary. And that is fine, because kasya itself indicates the question. Kasya pustakam asti, that is the question. So in this Shashti, or the sixth case ending, Shashti Vibhakti is the sixth case ending. We also have studied many of the sentences, right? We have done the exercise. Here is one example, again for repetition. So, Eshaha kaha, tat kim. So these are some of the questions we studied. And Eshaha kaha, and one sentence here is Balakasya kandukaha asti. Kasya kandukaha asti is a question. Kasya kandukaha asti. Kandukaha is ball. Kasya kandukaha asti, question. Answer would be Balakasya kandukaha asti. So kanduka is of the boy. So then we have gone through all these words. These also. Then moving forward, and actually we have gone through this also. So what is this? Pushpam pushpasya. Right? Pushpam. So in the last example we looked at Ramaha Ramasya and Kaha Kasya. And on these two slides, all these examples are of Pullinga words, or the masculine words, which are ending in aha, aha. All are ending in the same pattern, like aha, aha. So there are all the masculine words in Sanskrit language do not end like this. These are simple words we are taking up in the beginning, or you can call it just one kind of words we are taking up them in the beginning, which are easier to remember and to start with. So all the masculine words you have seen and we are studying so far, they end in and then the visarga in the first case ending, like this: Gopalakaha, Sevakaha, like this, Purohitaha, Chhatraha, Vyadhaha. These are all masculine words ending in and then in first case ending they are visarga ending aha. So for these, the Shashti or the sixth case ending becomes like this: Ramasya. So what will be the sixth case ending for buyer? It will be Grahakasya. Grahakasya. Right. Now moving on to this neuter word, or the Napunsakalinga word, the word which has neuter gender. What will be the sixth case ending form? It will be similar to what we saw for the masculine word so far, like Ramaha Ramasya, Grahakaha Grahakasya, Gayakaha Gayakasya, Chhatraha Chhatrasya, like that only. The neuter word, like Pushpam, will be in the sixth case ending form. It will have the similar form. There is no change, like Balakaha was there, we saw Balakasya. The same thing, like Pushpam becomes Pushpasya. Now note that Pushpam is a neuter word whose first case ending is Pushpam. The root word is Pushpa only. So the root word also ends in like Balaka. Here the root word of Balaka or Balakaha is Balaka only. So that is also ending in Balaka. Similarly, this is a neuter word Pushpam. This is the first case ending form. But the root word is Pushpa only. So this is a neuter word whose root word ends in sound, Pushpa. first case ending in pushpam, but sixth case ending is pushpasya, similar to balakasya. So this should be easy to use in a sentence. For example, there are few words here which you have gone through these already. Sasyam, metram, these are all neuter words. So the sixth case ending becomes sasyasya, mitrasya, vatayanasya, vimanasya, gruhasya, like that. And then you can use them in a sentence, like whatever belongs to vimana. For example, vimana is a plane, aeroplane. Then if you want to say the door of a plane, the door belongs to a plane, so that's why you are saying plane's door. So then for saying planes or of the plane, then we use vimanasya. Vimanasya, door. For door, what we have?
Dwaram.
Dwaram. Vimanasya dwaram. Like that, all these things you already given you already formed the sentences before. Now here, the question word for neuter gender is kim, that we know. But this kim, only kim is in the first case ending. So we can ask the question like kim asti, means what is there. This is the first case ending. Kim asti, what is there. But if the sixth case ending of kim is kasya, in the neuter gender, but kaha was the masculine gender in the first case ending, for that also the sixth case ending is kasya only. In neuter also the sixth case ending remains same. Just like this, how this pushpam and pushpasya and balakaha, balakasya, the sixth case ending form is the same. Similarly, in the question also sixth case ending form remains the same between the masculine gender and the neuter gender. So kasya only. So if you ask kasya kandukaha asti or kasya patram asti, whose patram means the leaf. It can also mean letter also, but something in the card format. So kasya patram asti. So you can write the sentence like this. What does this mean? Kasya patram asti, whose leaf it is. The answer could be, now this kasya, it could be in pullinga, means neuter gender also, or it could be in masculine gender also, because the forms are the same. So if you are looking at some tree or some object whose gender you do not know, okay, the word could be anything for this, and you do not know the gender. In that case, normally we use the neuter gender, even for the question mark also. So, for example, kim asti, what is that, right? What is that? In this case, that the object, the word for that could be anything. It could be feminine, it could be masculine, or it could be neuter. So, in any case, if you do not know the gender of the word, then you can just use for the question, you can use the kim, which is a neuter word. You don't have to be specific like kaha asti, understanding the word for the object. So that is not needed. You don't have to be specific. So without knowing the gender of the word for that object, you can just, for the question, you can simply use the neuter word, kim asti. So similarly, when we use kasya, you may not know the gender of the word of the object there. So then the kasya can be assumed as the neuter, in the neuter gender. So kasya patram asti. Now the answer does not have to be in the neuter gender, because it could be in the word could be in any gender. So kasya patram asti. So if the leaf belongs to the tree, so what could be the answer?
Kim patrasya
Tree.
Vriksha.
Vriksha.
Vriksha. Asti.
Vriksha. And what is the sixth ending form? Sixth case ending? Vrikshasya. Good. Vrikshasya patram asti. The Vriksha is, what is the lingam? What is the gender for Vriksha?
Masculine.
Masculine. Vriksha. Vriksha is the first case ending. Vrikshasya, sixth case ending. Vriksha is pullingam or masculine. But there is another word which is here, right? This is sasyam, which is plant. This is neuter gender, sasyam. And the sixth case ending for this is, what is the sixth case ending?
Sasyasya.
Sasyasya. Double sasyasya. Sasyasya. So sas means of plant.
Patrasya asti.
Patram asti.
Patram asti.
Patram asti. So it is a letter of a friend. So how do we say? It is a letter of a friend. Letter asti. So patram asti will remain same. We can use patram for letter also. Letter means mail, right? You get in the
Mitrasya patram.
For a friend we have mitram. Mitram is a neuter word. The gender of the word is neuter. It does not indicate the gender of the actual object. So the mitram word is neuter. So this the friend we have might be male or female, both. For in either case, mitram word is used, whether it is a boy friend or a female friend. In either case, mitram word in neuter gender is used. So when we want to say friend's letter, so we just use mitrasya. Mitrasya patram asti.
Can we say patrasya varnaha kim?
Patrasya varnaha kim. So what does that mean?
What is the color of the letter?
Yeah, what is the color of the leaf, or what is the color of a letter? Either both are good. So, patrasya varnaha kim. Now, he is friend. How do we say that? He is friend.
Saha mitrasya.
No, not mitrasya.
Mitra.
He is friend. There is no off here.
Yeah. Saha mitra asti.
Saha
Mitra.
mitra
Asti.
So where is the case ending for mitra?
Mitra.
Case ending first. First case ending.
Mitram.
Yes.
Saha mitram asti means he is friend. But is it correct? Saha mitram asti.
No.
So mitram is what gender?
Napusakalingam.
No.
Saha is what gender?
Masculine gender.
Tat.
Yeah.
Tat.
Right. Because it is adjective, the lingam or the gender has to be same. So let's change this saha to tat. So this tat usually means that, but in this case, because it is mitram is a neuter gender word. That's why we are using tat. This means the mitram, the friend could be female, male, whatever. It could be actual, neuter, whatever. It could be dog, it could be whatever. But in any case, we use this tat mitramasti only. Tat mitramasti means he is friend, she is friend. If you translate it, but Sanskrit means, in Sanskrit it is just friend.
So it's not like in English where you know that the mitram is a girl, then you won't go sa mitram.
Yeah.
It has to be tat mitram.
Yes, because it goes with the gender of that. Because just like we are using sahakaha, right? Sahakaha. We can't use sakaha. If this ka changes to ka, this saha also has to change to sa. Because they are related. They are actually, one is adjective, one is the one which is being described. So similarly here, mitram and tat is adjective here. So both have to, it has to be in the same gender. Now, how do we say he is my friend? So you can generally start with the verb. Verb is easy, right? So start putting the sentence with the verb. Asti. He is my friend. So now, what other words do you know now? Friend. You know friend?
Mitram.
Mitram. So mitram asti. Now the sentence is already formed here. Mitram asti means friend is there. Now we just want to add he.
Saha.
No, tat.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah. So you just now saw tat. Because mitram is neuter gender. Tat mitram asti. So he is my friend. So where is my now? Now we have to use my.
Mama.
This is the new word we want to introduce here.
I think it's mama, is it?
Yeah, mama. We already saw this mama some time back here on this, right? So this is a basic sentence we can use when to introduce ourselves. Like mama nama. Mama means my. Nama means name. Mama nama, something you can say. Mama nama Veena. Mama nama Shivaha Vivekananda. And similarly, this, if you want to remember, this also we have seen. To ask the question, what is your name? So bhavataha means your in masculine gender, and bhavatyaha means your in feminine gender. What is your name? Asking the male person. So we use bhavataha namakim. Asking the female person, we use bhavatyaha namakim. So mama nama is just a general. Mama doesn't have a gender. So it can be used even if I am female or I am male. So mama nama. So this mama can be used in that sentence also. So he is my friend. Mama tat mama mitram asti. Right? Tat mama mitram asti. So this, you already gone through these words. So let's move on to the next word, form. This is the same, sixth case ending for the feminine word like this, like Uma, for example. The first case ending form is Uma. So when we say Uma Asti, means Uma is there. So to convert that into sixth case ending form, we just add the Yaha to it. So it becomes Umayah. Umayah means of Uma. Sorry. Of Uma. Or Umas. So Umayah Pustakam. This is how we are going to use it. So if the word is Vaidya, what will be the form? Sixth case ending form. Uma changes to Umayah. Vaidya changes to
Vaidyayaha.
Vaidyayaha. This is simple. Vaidyayaha. Vaidyayaha means of. Vaidya means female doctor. So Vaidyayaha, of female doctor, something. So what could belong to female doctor? Vaidyayaha.
The coach.
Huh?
The coach, the doctor, or Upanetram.
Upanetram. Upanetram, glasses. Vaidyayaha Upanetram. If you want to say Yutakam, that's fine. Yutakam is shirt, right? That's what I think you're trying to say coat. But if you don't know coat, you can just say Yutakam, shirt. Yutakam. Or if you just want to say clothes, this Vastram is fine. Just Vastram is cloth or cloth. Both are fine. Vastram. My writing, my question, my writing. I'm trying. Vastram. Okay. Vaidyayaha Vastram. The clothes of female doctor. Similarly, there is what are the other Strilinga words you remember?
Mahilayaha.
Mahilayaha.
Yaha.
Mahilayaha. What will be Mahilayaha? Udaharanam or example. Mahilayaha. What could belong to Mahila?
Sari.
Yeah, Sari, Shatika. I think it was one of the slides. Shatika. Shatika.
Yeah, Shatika.
Shatika, and then what else could belong to Mahila?
Kunchika.
Mahila. Huh?
Kunchika.
Kunchika, yes.
Please.
Kunchika belongs to Mahila. Yeah. What is Kunchika?
Kunchika key. The key. Lekhani.
Mahilayaha Petika.
Petika first, right?
Petika box.
Okay.
And Mahilayaha Keshaha.
Hair. Hair.
Hair. Kesha is Pullinga. Mahila is Strilinga, but Keshaha word is Pullinga. Mahilayaha Keshaha.
Ankani. Ankani.
Ankani. Mahilayaha Ankani. Yes. But what are the those are the other, like you already Petika, you got the Strilinga word, and then Kunchika, you saw the word there. Okay. So I just on the side note here, I wrote Kunchika like this. How do you write Kunchika? Like when I say Kunchika, can we write it like this? Kunchika. This is the Anuswara, dot on the top.
You can, because the Anuswara going to follow the Taluna, because you're going there with a cha. So the cha then ends with a na, the Anunasika.
Yeah, that's a bit of grammatical explanation, but here the so what is the difference if you write it like this and write it like this? What is the difference?
The sound, no.
Yes, yeah, Uma is,
No.
yeah.
It's subtle. It's adding it in without that. It just automatically, yeah.
Yeah. So there is go back to if you remember, recollect, in the very beginning, when we were studying the Ucharanam or the pronunciation, there is a difference in pronunciation between this Anuswara, which is the dot here, and this Nya here. Okay? There is a difference in pronunciation. So that is why the writing is different. When we write with the Anuswara like a dot here and with like this here, they are not pronounced the same.
Yeah.
And that's why the writing is different.
One is right?
Means there is no, ma is not completely is closed here because so it becomes, remember the Anuswara, if you go back to the basics of pronunciation, Anuswara is purely nasal. Purely nasal. So when this cha comes later, cha, so this Anuswara cannot be pronounced when we are putting the cha or some other consonant immediately after the Anuswara. The Anuswara sound cannot be pronounced purely through nose. So what happens is it takes the support of a different position in the mouth along with the nose. If you just write like this Anuswara, then it must be purely nasal. It cannot take any other support from other position in the mouth. So that is not possible. When we try to say cha after kung, we cannot say kung chika. So then there has to be break. So to pronounce continuously kung chika, then the pure nasal is not there. So then the pronunciation changes to take the support of the what Vivekananda Mahodaya was saying, talu. Talu means the palate, the upper soft part of the mouth, where we pronounce cha also. Cha is also pronounced from the same position, right? Cha, when you say cha. So where that top surface of the tongue touches the soft part of the upper portion in the mouth, cha, or the slightly, not the top portion of the mouth, slightly behind that, cha. So the Anuswara, the nasal sound also takes the support of that same position. Nya. See, kun chika. So it changes. Kun, the tongue also moves with the nasal sound. The tongue also moves towards that position where the ch is pronounced, right? So it becomes a mixture of the nasal sound and your tongue moving towards that soft palate. So it becomes a mixture. Kun chika. Then the cha comes out. Kun chika. That's why the Anuswara writing is not correct in this case, because the pronunciation is different. The pronunciation becomes like nya, like this. This is a nya symbol in Devanagari. So nya is a mixture of the nasal sound in combination with the top surface of tongue touching the soft palate. The kunchika. So that's why we write it like this, because the pronunciation is of that nya, kunchika. So it should not be written like this, anuswara.
Sanjit, what happens if we write the nya as a halanta?
Yeah, that's fine. Writing is not.
That's fine. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So you can write like this. You can always write those conjunct letters as separate, like this.
Sanjeevji, can the anuswara replace na?
Anuswara replace na? No. Anuswara is a separate sound. It doesn't replace anything.
Okay. And when you make it, how can you the pure nasal sound? Where is the tongue?
There's no tongue. Tongue is neutral like right? When we are pronouncing the tongue is just hanging neutral.
Okay.
Now the na sound, example for the na sound is anything you like. What is a good word?
Song. Song.
Or say mantra, right? Mantra.
Mantra.
Mantra. So here there are letters like this, mantra, right? So whether you write it like this or write it like this, or you write it like this, it is same thing. Or you can also write it like this. One more thing I'll show. The writing is not. You can write it like this. This is Devanagari. This writing is of the script. You can use, or you can write it like this. Transliteration. So all are same. Mantra. It is just a scriptural representation of what we are pronouncing. However, now coming to what the question was, mantra. Here na. Na is, what is the position for na? Where the tongue is touching.
Danta.
Behind the teeth. Mantra. So we cannot write it like this. Anuswara. We cannot write because we are touching the back of the teeth. Na. Man. It is not mang. That we are not hanging the tongue neutrally and sound is coming through only nasal. Mang. However, so this example, the na, it has to be written as na, like half na here, consonant na, because we are not adding any vowel after na here. Mantra. So what is the example for the anuswara where it does not convert to one of these consonants? You take, for example, Sanskrita. We all pronounce Sanskrita, right? So here, there is anuswara. Why? Because after that there is a sa. And after and here we have, actually this can be broken as, this Sanskrita can be broken as what? In writing, it can be broken as sa and anuswara, anuswara, which is actually, like sa and anuswara, and after there is anuswara, and which is usually written like this, but it is not actually. It is not it is it is not. If you say it has to be written like this, right? So this is not this is not but while, to keep it simple, while saying, we just say but the sound is not actually. There is no ma here. So this is the anuswara with after there is anuswara, and there is, after that, sa is following here, this sa, and after that there are other words, like other letters like kru and ta is there. Now, because there is no there is sa following after this anuswara, right? This anuswara also has this. Anuswara is actually the sound which follows after the vowel, right? Which is represented with a dot above there. It is actually following a. So sa, anuswara and sa, and because sa is there after that, the anuswara remains as anuswara there, because it doesn't touch anywhere. Sanskrita. So after sa, then we start pronouncing sa separately, Sanskrita. And while doing that, this anuswara does not change into any other position, like na, ma, ya, and na. Okay?
Some people call it Samskrita, which and some people call it Sanskrita. Now, what I've noticed here, that the sa, it's in the danta position, the whole family of songs with the bindu on top there. Am I right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, but that is not correct actually. The Sanskrita has to be pronounced like this, and there is no English equivalent for that, because English, if you write, then we write Sanskrita. Some people write like this, right? This is the most common one.
Yeah, yes. Yes.
And because of that, looking at this, then people start pronouncing it as Sanskrita, like
Yeah. Yeah, got it. Yeah.
like sun and then skrita. By looking at this, it is a reverse pronunciation, which is not correct, because there is no equivalent symbol in Roman script, which is used for English to represent anuswara. So that's why it is written either like this, or it is written with m sometimes, right? Samskrita.
Yes.
So people look at this and then they start pronouncing it as either Sanskrita or Samskrita, like that. Samskrita is not correct. Another example with that is Sansara. Sansara means this life. What is that equivalent to life? Samsara. The life you spend on this earth is samsara. So here also the anuswara has to be there in pronunciation. That's why we are writing that in the script here, Devanagari. Pronunciation is the important thing, and which is conveyed by the script. Which has to be properly conveyed by the script. So the other person who is reading this will understand that this is the anuswara sound. So samsara. It is not sansara or samsara.
Sanjeevji, is it sangsara? Is that right? I have to block the back of the tongue in the back in order to get the versus oo. If I go
Yeah, block the tongue at the back, yes. The sangsara.
Okay, thank you.
But that is very, don't take it as like a that is a simple, that is a, when you say block the tongue at the back, which is not technically not accurate. Don't try to block it anywhere actually. Just try to bring the sound to the nose. So, because there is a difference in blocking. Like when we block the air behind the back of the teeth with the tip of the tongue, then it becomes na, correct? Like how we have this mantra, man. So we are blocking the airflow at the back of the teeth with the tip of the tongue. That's a block. Mantra. But if you block it at the back of the throat, then it will be sounding like ankani. Here ankani. So here what happens here is this again has the letters or the pronunciation like this. Okay. So here we have this anuswara initially, and after that the ka is following here. Ka. So after that anuswara there is ka. So when we pronounce them together, this then this nga, it changes to nga, which is the block at the back of their throat. This nga is there is a block. Try to pronounce this. Just ankani.
Ankani.
Yeah. So you can see the tongue trying to block at the back of the throat. But if you, when you say just samsara, there is no block. So it is not samsara. Samsara.
How do you send the air through the nose without blocking?
What is the difference between when you pronounce ankani and samsara?
Ankani, samsara.
So here, yeah, see, there has to be some difference between ankani and samsara, because though it sounds like ankani only, because here also there is a contraction like ang. Here also it sounds like sound, right? But the contraction is not like this. Here when we say when we say anka, the nga is, when we say nga, the back of the tongue is trying to touch, or actually inside it is touching the back of the throat there. But when you say samsara, yeah, well,
I think the throat is constricted, but it's not completely blocked.
Yeah, not completely blocked here. And sometimes many people, when trying to pronounce samsara, the constriction happens like ankani only, like samsara, but it is not happening at the back of the, it should not actually, it should not happen at the back of the tongue, like samsara.
Is that because it's a vowel as opposed to a consonant?
Yes.
Your air is coming in.
Which is vowel and consonant?
The is the
no, what comes before is immaterial. Here also actually there is a vowel before this anuswara. Remember this, when we say samsara is nothing but this sa plus Here also there is a vowel, okay? And then there is sara. What follows is important. After anuswara, in ankani case, there is ka is following that, but in this case, sa is following this anuswara. The sa is not one of those 25 letters, right? First 25 consonants. Ka, to, ka, ga, ga, nga, cha, cha, ja, cha, ya, ta, ta, da, da, na, ta, ta, da, da, na, pa, pa, ba, ma. So those 25 consonants, for them, this anuswara will change. Yeah. Other than that, for other consonants, other last 9 consonants are there, 25 plus 8 consonants, 33. For 8 consonants, this anuswara does not change. Another example was in today's Subhashitam. What was today's Subhashitam? Here. You see here, this one. And here also, Vasansi. And there is when you say Sanyati, yeah, the tongue tends to block, right? And when it's Sanyati. But Sanyati, try not to go too close to the throat there. Sanyati. So if you say Sanyati, then it might be like you are trying to put emphasis on the ya, making it double ya. Sanyati. So try to make it easy. Go easy there. Sanyati.
Sangyati.
Don't make it. Don't go too close with your throat, near the throat at the back. Similarly here, Vasansi. So don't try to bring that va factor there. Vasansi. Okay. So
thank you so much.
We are studying this Pushpam Pushpasya, and we looked at Mayaha. Yeah. Petika, Petikayaha, Vaidya, Vaidyayaha, etc. Kunchika, Asti, etc. Okay. Alright, so there are some words here which are ending in a, right? Lata. These are all feminine words in feminine gender. Lata, Gita, Mela. So you can write the 6th case ending of each of these letters and try to make it a sentence with asti. Right? Latayaha something asti. Is that? Gitayaha something asti. So can you take up it as a homework?
This we write a sentence using nataya and then asti with the.
Yeah, for example here, Umayaha pustakam asti. For example.
So we add in an object, a thing.
Yeah. So this is not object. This is a subject, right?
A subject, excuse me.
Object means like a something. Umayaha pustakam asti, Umayaha petika asti, Umayaha kesha. Something which, preferably from the words you have studied before, pick one of them.
The noun.
It could be anything, just for the practice.
Okay, thank you.
And just try to make it like something meaningful. For example, if it is Nartika, don't use Parvata. Parvata is mountain. Like Parvata doesn't belong to Nartika. Nartika is a dancer. So try to make it something meaningful words at least. Nartikayaha pustakam asti, which is good. Pustaka you can use commonly. Everybody owns a pustakam. I mean, if you do not understand any of the, I think the words meanings are easy, right? Gita is the name of the person. Mahila is a
Woman.
Lata is name of the person, or also it can be creeper. Lata also means creeper, right? Which wraps around the tree, and that's a creeper. And then the Nidhanika, shelf. Sita is the name of the person. And the Pitika is the
Table.
Yes. Desk.
Box.
Yeah. Petika is box. Petika.
Box.
Pithika is the nest. Jamanika is the curtain. Pachika is the cook, female cook. Pachika is female cook. And Gaika, singer. Nartika, dancer. Balika, girl. Chhatra, female student. And Mala is the name of the person, and also it could be garland.
Garland.
Rama, name of the person. Nauka is boat. Okay, I think we'll stop here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjeev ji. Thank you very much.
Thank you
so much.
Dhanyavada, Sanjeev.
Dhanyavada.
Dhanyavada.